guys, my name is Nana, and today we're going to do a little bit of a heavier discussion. It's going to be 3 black Christian men, and we're going to be talking about their opinions on police and law enforcement and just what's been going on in this climate. So sit back and let's talk.
Hello, my name is Larry.
What's up, my name is Evans.
And I'm Adams.
And this is Let's Talk.
How do you plan on teaching your future children about interacting with law enforcement in America? All right. I think, honestly speaking, it's a weird question because it's like, I don't want to put them in fear so early. Actually, I don't want to get that mindset like, oh, like these people are not actually out here to look out for us, kind of thing. But I think what I'll do is I'll just teach them, I guess, like how to properly go about handling when a cop is in your face, like when you get pulled over, or for any reason, you know, just do as the officer said. You know what I'm saying? Just abiding by what they say so that nothing crazy happens, and not putting them in a fearful mindset. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to know that there is good cops out there, but they're not going to be able to really distinguish that all the time at the moment. You know what I mean? So I guess just doing the best that I can to really educate them about the truth about law enforcement.
I'm not even sure, but when I would plan on, telling my kids about law enforcement, because like you said, like, you don't want them to think that every cop is out there together. You know, there's a few cops out there that that's really there to do their job, but I feel like I would tell them what to expect, like at a certain age.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell them when they're like 5 or 6. I'll tell them at this age when I know they're going out more. I'll tell them what to do, to just cooperate. If anything, just call me. And just try to let them know what to do and be at their best as possible.
Yeah.
Even though, but we all know that even if you do cooperate, that's always gonna go the way. But it's a touchy subject. I don't even know when I would tell my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say for me, I think a key word, like a key idea that you guys touched on was like that balance of like, you don't want to raise them in fear.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this man is out to get you, but I guess you want to have them to have like an appropriate level of fear.
Yeah. That
don't think that you're indestructible, like, because yes, I want you to feel like you can conquer the world, but at the same time, you have to know that it's not all roses, you can't be too naive.
Yeah.
So, and again, the key word that comes back to balance, then it's finding that age, finding that number of like when you start really introducing them to these things, because you don't want to be like a child and have, 3 years old worrying about like the cop,
Yeah.
Because I think you guys said not all cops are bad, and I don't think that's like, any of our like mindsets, our outlook on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it would depend, right? But I think you guys brought up some good points about like when they start going out more and things of that nature, when it becomes more of an issue or something that they have to worry about more. I mean, hopefully by then the world's a little different, for the better. Yeah.
I think a big part is also really educating them, which is I should do this also, but really educating them on all of their rights. Because a lot of times we can combat using the law against them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're the law enforcers, not the law like makers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times they try to twist the law into their favor, which is literally how things work. But if we know it, like for example, I just figured out that when a cop pulls you over and they say that you're speeding, I heard that you can actually like ask, oh, can I see the speedometer? And if a cop refuses to do that, then it goes into whatever happens from there. But you can ask; it's legal.
Yeah.
So just simple things like that, can pretty much determine like the difference between an act like a murder or you driving home, that thing.
What I would say to that though, because there is like us as men, and then like a future tense as fathers.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference between like knowing and like being able to say these things and just wanting your child to get home. Because like anything that as a parent, I would think that you're your desire for your child to just make it home.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want you to spend extra time asking extra questions.
Yeah.
I think as a parent, I'm more like, okay, just follow what he says. But I think it's still a good point to like know your rights.
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, I don't need you like, you know, show me the speedometer.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like that could potentially make the situation worse.
Yeah.
But I feel like 8 times out of 10, like they know that whoever they stop don't know the law, like you said. Like,
Yes.
so I get what you're saying, but at the same time, if we don't know the law, then they can put this whole huge charge on you, or even put you back in. Like what Adam said, you know, like it's very important for the child to know the law, because if you say the wrong thing, then they can use that to, you know,
They can
lock
take
you up,
advantage.
or they can take you on, or they can put this whole charge on you. Now you gotta go to court, and you know, and then that's what I tell you, you're never gonna win that.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's their ways against yours, you know. But
So I think it comes back to that, just to balance.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
like it's because you know you want them to know, but you don't want them to be like too like cocky about it.
yeah. So
I think that's the way I
so
try
it's
to
basically like a hope for the best type thing, you know. Just you know, I don't know.
Because like to a certain degree, it's like I want to like I want my kids to understand that they also have power, and I don't want, because I'm a man that's like, I don't like when people take advantage of other people to such high degree like that. Like for example, my cousin got I mean, this was kind of rash. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably could have, you know, something could have went left. But my cousin got pulled over one time, and I was in the car with her, passenger side. And you know, she made an innocent turn. Like she saw that there was like a block kind of thing, but like it wasn't clear to her, I guess you could say. And she was driving, and there was a cop there, and the cop stopped my cousin. And the cop was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like you could have killed somebody or whatever," and trying to make it seem so much bigger than what it was. And this is where I kind of like, I probably, looking back at it now, I realized that it really put her in fear. But my reaction was, "Officer, she made a mistake. Relax." And it wasn't registering to me. And my cousin was like, in her head, she was like, "Please stop fucking with him." And the officer was like, "Excuse me?" And I said, "She made a mistake. Relax." And like I said, I'm not proud of what I did, but it's like you're coming at a black woman who's already in fear and is already aware of her mistake. Why do you want to escalate it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't like that abuse of power. So it's like, I want my kids to understand and be educated, not foolish, but be educated in their education and their actions, so that it doesn't come back to haunt them or, you know, hurt them, whatever. You know what I mean? Like there has to be, like you said, balance.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna let my kids be taken advantage of.
Because
like,
good.
I want that, like you're not gonna just mess with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you know.
I mean, and I think I represent like getting like the smarts along with that.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you can make it home, we can get a lawyer.
Yeah.
And we can fight this in a proper manner.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you get pulled over at night, and something happens, and you escalate and you react the wrong way, things might go completely left.
That's why I want the education.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like, that's what I think it's more smart than education. Just to know that, okay, yeah, officer, I just do what you say. I know this is wrong. I take your badge number. Then we can escalate through the proper channels.
Yeah.
But when it's just me and you alone at night, and you don't like my mouth.
I'm gonna play dumb. I'm never gonna ask you for a badge number.
Yeah, but take you over and see it. But you know,
I do push-ups for y'all because I can go home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And but we're talking about as a parent. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you know, I'd rather my child not say anything to the cop in the moment. Even if you know your rights, of course, right?
Yeah.
But don't say anything. Don't say she made a mistake.
That was a mistake. You know, I didn't. It was an emotional thing for me.
Okay, so describe the most uplifting or happy situations you have had with police officers.
I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna just read that again. Describe the most uplifting or happy situation
Or
you have
any
had.
situation that isn't as negative graphic or anything. Because I wanted things to maybe shed some light if we can do so. If your experiences
Are good.
relate to that. If not, then y'all can just decline.
Personally, that I've had.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to start or?
Yeah, I mean, I have had I know a few people who are in law enforcement. So but I've been stopped by cops. You know, a few of them who have I remember this one time I was going down Central Avenue, starting, you know, after the gym, I was speeding. And he pulls me over and he was like, "Where you going, man? You speeding?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going home, come from the gym." He's like, "Oh, man, just slow down. You just, you know, no need to speed." And then he just let me go. I was like, "Whoa," you know, because I wasn't wrong. He could have given me a ticket for that. But yeah, I would say that really made me happy that, you know, he just gave me the benefit of the doubt.
Must be nice.
No, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's what that was my situation. Was kind of similar. I mean, of course, before I say it, I think we've had other positive interactions. Like in elementary school, I don't know if you guys had DARE.
Oh yeah,
that DARE program. Those cops were cool. I think they let me touch the handle of the gun one time. It was so cool.
I never got that.
Wow. But the situation that I was thinking of was when you first start driving, you're a little reckless. You know, you're young. You know, the world is yours. And I was on this tiny street, and there's this unmarked vehicle in front of me driving slow. And at this point in time, like I said, I just started driving. I've never like gone around a car before. I'm like, yo, this guy's going slow. I was going home too. I'm like, let me just go around him. And this person never done it, and I pulled it off successfully. And then the lights come on. So like, mind you, like it's like a 25 mile per hour zone. Like I'm really not supposed to be speeding. And not only am I speeding, but I like took over a cop. So then like his lights come on, like there's no escape. Like, you know, like I'm clearing around. Like I ain't just cut somebody else off. I cut off a cop.
Yeah.
So so then like, but he doesn't even get out the car. Like he puts his lights on. He pulls up next to me. He pulls his window down. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, "Where you headed?" "I'm going home." "What's the speed limit?" 25. "How fast was I going?" 25. "So why are you speeding?" "I don't know." Then he's like, "You can go," right? Because he's next to me like this, and like he's like, "You can go." I'm like, "Nah, it's cool. You can go." So I let him go ahead, and I do my little 25 behind him. So like, yeah, that was my uplifting.
We can move on if you guys.
Right. I don't think I've ever had.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever had.
It's okay.
Wow. So negative.
I never.
Negative.
I mean,
Okay. My question is, have you found peace in this current political and racial climate? Oh, I'm sorry. How have you found peace?
read it again, please.
How have I?
How have you found peace in this current political and racial climate?
Like, how are you guys able to remain, especially as, you know, you guys are black and you're also Christian, so it's like kind of like a dichotomy with that. How are you guys able to keep a level head in this tension of a climate, or sorry, tension climate? And if not, you can be honest with that as well.
Yeah, I guess I have to. I'm going to read it one more time just for our viewers at home. How have you found peace in this current political and racial climate? This is a big question. I'm going to give you guys a second to
Right. Let's take it.
Yeah, I don't need a second.
That's what you say when you don't know the answer.
I think, honestly speaking, sometimes I really think, and it's really sad to say this, but sometimes I think maybe if I just focus on going to work and then just going straight home should give me enough. Like, it's just too much going on to the point where it's like, I don't even feel safe. Like, now when I look at a cop, I'm just like, I have this thing where it's like I feel guarded, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with like all the cops well, most of the cops in my town, and it's like when I see them, I don't know, I don't think I can say that I have found peace during this time period. You know what I'm saying? Because everything I see on social media is just another hashtag, another missing person, another this and that. So it's like, I think the best thing that I could do is just stay in my lane and not so much focus on, you know, what's going on. Is the best thing that I can say for me to like finding quote unquote peace for myself in this time period.
I guess I'm answering next the way you looked at me. But yeah, as I think about it, right? I guess the realization that I'm coming to is that it's actually, for me personally, it's not necessarily too hard to find peace. The reason being, I guess I never placed my hopes in like politics.
Right.
Or like, you know, I never expected the best out of, you know, people in these positions of power.
Yeah.
So I guess like from the get-go, my piece was never structured up based off of that. Like it literally is always in God, right? So in coming back to that, like I know for me personally, like He's the one who takes care of me. I know that my life is in His hand, but like that's me personally. So I know, like, you know, whatever the situation I end up with, whether it be with an officer, whether it be something else, like I know that that's who's leading my life, and everything is in His control. Like politics are not bigger than God. Like race is not bigger than God. These things are all in His hands. But that doesn't mean like I'm not saddened by what I see.
Yeah.
You know, by and large, the way that the world is going and of how things were supposed to be better by now. And we're hoping by the time our kids come around that it will be better then. But it seems to be headed in the wrong direction where things are getting worse. So, but like I said, my piece like is in Christ. It's not in politics. It's not in race.
My piece was never based on politics. Like I do pay attention to politics. I feel like, you know, it does affect a lot of things. But how things are going now, it's like, you know, I always I don't know what verse it is, but the peace that surpasses all understanding. That I always tell myself that, you know, so no matter what's going on, well, like whatever that's going on, like you said, you know, God is the one that will bring you peace, you know. And at the end of the day, because like with this day and age, the politics and the media are there bringing like division, right? Everything is black and white, right? You know, it's cops against black people and it's white people against black people, and it's like, you know, this whole thing going on. They be like, so even you can't even, a person can't even disagree with you without it there being a gender, quote unquote, right? So I try not to pay attention to that, but I do see how it's affecting us, and I'm gonna admit, like, it affects me sometimes too when I pay too much attention to it. But like I say, you know, my peace is in Christ, and I know what's going on. But yeah. Okay. As a Christian man, how do you respond to police brutality and violence? Well, I don't know.
Great answer.
I mean, I think, honestly speaking, I mean, I'll keep this short. I mean, I have been, you know, reading the Bible more now that we're in quarantine. You know what I'm saying? I think that all this stuff, though, is happening for a reason. I think this is supposed to, like, all this stuff is supposed to happen. Like, in the back of my mind, like, in my human mind, I'm just like, why can't people just chill out? Like, why does the color of my skin really bother me? But when I look into the Bible, it says a lot of the stuff is supposed to happen. You know, just it's the ending of the world type stuff. You know what I mean? So, in terms of me responding, obviously I hate it, but the best thing that we can honestly do is just stay in prayer, pretty much, and just stay within the realms of the Lord, because that's all we can do, honestly.
Or also another way you can think of the question is in terms of if there's a violent situation that you're like, you can feel it's getting violent.
In front of me?
In front of you, or you're like, a cop is getting real funny, real crazy, and kind of sort of like you don't want to wild out in your, you know, flesh.
Right.
But you also, you know, I'm in my flesh. You know,
your spirit is still like, doesn't mean your spirit don't get mad.
So there was actually a situation where I was in AC, and on the boardwalk, I can't believe it was like this was actually happening. I recorded it, and I was getting like really mad because the cop maced this dude, and he already was like, I think intoxicated. And he wasn't even conscious of what was going on, but the cop maced the dude, and then like he like German suplexed, took him down, completely defenseless. Like, I'm talking like defenseless, and the way he was like, you know, trying to like handcuff him was just like, he wasn't even resisting. So my reaction was like, oh, it just sucks when I feel powerless. You know what I mean? Because that's like, and all I could do was record it, and I recorded it. I tried to report it to the police, like for what's it called?
Assault?
Like assault kind of thing, saying that the cop was just completely handled the situation completely wrong, and all the people could say was, you don't know the whole story, so there's nothing that you can do about it. That's pretty much the response that I got from the department when I tried to report it, because it's like, I don't know what else I could do, because, you know, at the end of the day, police have the quote unquote the guns and the weaponry and the army and the, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I was heated. I was mad, but all I could do was just report it. I was powerless. I hated it.
Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how a Christian man can actually respond to police brutality and violence, because last year, October, I had an incident when I was somewhere and the police officer comes in where I was at, it's at Wawa in Glasgow. He comes to where I'm in, and he said that he greets me. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know what's going on? So I'm being nice, right? Because I don't like cops. I hate cops, right? So I was really being nice, right?
I understand.
Yeah. So I'm being nice to him, like what's going on, and he was like, oh, you know, I got a call that you said that you have a gun on you. I'm like, what? You know, more of the story. You know, he said I got a gun on me. I put my stuff down. He searched me. He don't see nothing, and so letting me go. Doesn't let me go. 6 more police officers pulled out, and I become the whole big thing, right? Now I'm like, I don't have a gun on me. They was like, well, maybe you're hiding it, right? Yeah, right. So then I started getting violence to it. Now, like, you know, the gun is not on me. Everybody's telling you that, yo, like, you know, the gun is not on me. Hiding the gun where? And she said, oh, the cashier, I told the cashier that I have a gun. But yeah,
That's what they said to you?
Yeah, right? You know, and then they're all were white, of course, you know, they're smirking, some of them were smirking and having a good time, you know.
Having a good time.
And then, you know, and then when they knew that they couldn't really arrest me because, like, I don't have a gun, they tried to push me in a corner and get me nervous so I can act up. Yeah, so they can do that, you know. So, yeah, I still think about that from time to time, and I just still have that hate. So I don't know. I really don't know how a Christian man can really respond to.
They try to get their points for them, man. That's what they call it.
You feel me? But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible. You can talk to them. You can be nice to them, like I did when he confronted me about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good that he confronted me about it and I lashed out. I'm like, I don't. You know, I took off my stuff, put down my food. You know, checked me, searched me, and nothing is on me. And still, I have this imaginary gun. You know.
I'm just glad you made that situation safe, because that could have gone different.
Yeah.
But as you guys are speaking, I guess what I'm thinking about is that in terms of being a Christian man, dealing with police brutality and things of this nature, I think we have a precedence. Like, it's not the first time, like, in this country, that Christian men of our color have had to come together because of these issues. So I'm reminded, like, of the past of segregation and all these things. And it was primarily the church that came together. So it was leaders like MLK and others like him who came together to fight this injustice. And I think even though we're still dealing with like some of the underlying issues, even today, things have gotten better. And I think in some ways they set an example for us. And their protests, it was non-violent. Of course, there was another extreme side. We could talk about Malcolm X. But their protest was non-violent, but they were united. And I think that's what I wanted to get to. I mean, of course, to go back to what you said initially, Adams, I think we live in a different age where we can hold officers more accountable because of social media. Because there's a risk of things being viral. So I think your initial first step of recording was the right step. But I think if you report it to the department and it does not go live, everybody nowadays has a social media platform where they can post these things. And more as they get posted, officers have to wash their moves a little bit more. Maybe no more German suplexes, maybe RKO. But what I'm saying is that, like, you know, using the platforms that we have, but also, like I said, to go back to that other aspect of unity, of like, holding each other accountable, like in the sense of like, if I see you're getting searched at a Wawa and I'm another black man there, I guess I have a duty to pull out a phone and start recording. Because I don't know what story's gonna get told about your imaginary gun. So I can't be there and just get my sandwich, get my, you know, roasted chicken, you know, make sure with the lettuce, and then I dip and be like, see, 6 officers. But like, you know, it is my responsibility, non-violently, like, you know, I'm not gonna go and hit the cop that's searching you, or suplex the suplexer, but I have like a responsibility to not just look the other way.
Yeah.
And because I think that's part of the biggest problem is like, as if we as black men, as black Christian men, if we remain divided, if we got our sets, if we got our crews, if we got our people, and that's what we care about, and we don't care about each other as a race, then why should other races care about us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially, to answer to, I guess, put a cap to this answer, to this question, we need to hold each other accountable as, you know, Christians in society, black Christians, in this regards to this talk, black Christian men hold each other accountable and have that sense of brotherhood, which I feel like has been lost, especially within our community because of the fact that people are so busy. People have other things to worry about. That's not my business, not my problem.
Yeah.
But once you lose that brotherhood, then now the other people have power.
Yeah.
So I think to answer it, have a brotherhood, have a united front. You see something crazy going on, record it. If you can't record it, stick up for the person. Like, to some extent, don't have sense, but stick up for the person. Nothing's going on. So I think with Evan's story, saying people were saying sticking up for you, this is not what's happening, this is not what's going on. People recording the situation as well. In some instance, did that give you a little bit of peace? Like even a tiny, or maybe not a little tiny bit of like, okay, at least there's people here sticking up for me.
Yeah, so I was with my friends, you know. So it was a big commotion. So everybody was like, wow. Some people took out their camera, their phones, and started recording it, and it even went around. You know. So like having people recording and having my friends there was like, oh, he didn't do anything. But it was actually, you know, an argument between other people that were going on before I got to Wawa, right? And then when I got there and they left, I guess that the store manager, who was a white lady, I guess that she wanted to pin it on something. Because it doesn't make sense that I would tell the cashier that I have a gun and I'm not afraid to use it. And then I pay for my sandwich and go wait for 30 minutes for my sandwich. What am I, RoboCop? You know, I'm not scared what's going to happen. That's for me. And the story made no sense. The cops knew it made no sense. Because when the officer came and asked me, yeah, I already have a gun. My reaction, you can tell you, this guy don't know what you're talking about. But like you said, like they may have wanted a quota or whatever, but they wanted to.
It's all business at the end.
They wanted to lock me up, you know.
It's all business, bro.
Lock this N-word dude up, you know, you feel me? But just having people there just talking, you know. My good friend Steven, it was like, obviously he didn't do anything out of that. The other boy Kobe and Eugene, everybody there just talking, cameras out. At the end of the day, I was like, no, we're just gonna go check the camera. They went to check the camera. They was like, well, unfortunately, you know, the camera has no sound, but so we can't see what's going on, or we can't hear what's going on, but we saw you yelling at somebody, but the camera has no sound. but you see me yelling at somebody. It made no sense, you know, and they let me go after like almost an hour.
Wow. They need new writers. Because that was a great.
You know, and then like the store was trying to actually file a complaint on me so that I can never visit any Wawa again.
Wow.
Any Wawa?
Yeah, but it didn't work because like, you know, I would have won that. I would have won that in court fair and square because bro, you know. So, but you know, but like you said, if it did feel good that I was not by myself, just by myself, it would have been different.
But yeah, just to add on to that really quick, I was just gonna say that it's good that you had your friends there. Like you said Stephen and who else. But it's like in situations where you might necessarily have people with you.
Yeah.
Like as a community, we have that responsibility as well. Yeah. So like I said, if I'm in that Wawa and I don't know you, like you know, I can't just walk out. But it's like I was behind him in line. He ain't said nothing about no gun. He just asked for some crackers or something, you know.
Because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, they know that we're already divided as a community. We're already divided. Like, we're basically, to a certain extent, we kind of do their job for them. We kind of kill each other, we just always stick together.
Yeah, that's our brother. No matter, like, who goes to jail when a cop kills someone.
They will lie for each other, like, literally, like, just flat out. So I think the second that we do take each other seriously as a whole community,
Yeah.
then I think hopefully we can make some sort of change. It's like, you can pick it, Larry. Pastor Larry.
Oh my. You match the bowl.
It's a different shade of green.
Still green.
That's what I like.
Have you ever been unfairly stopped by a police officer?
Yeah, what?
If so, describe how you felt. I'm gonna let you guys take the lead on this one. We have an honor student.
So there was a few times, but I'm not gonna tell you all. There was one time where, oh my gosh, I was driving in Clark. You know Clark. You know Clark.
I've heard
of Clark.
I've heard the rumors.
So I was driving on Ross Street from Clark onto St. George, crossing over the border of Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
As I was driving on Ross Street, I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? I might have been going a little bit, just maybe. But as soon as I saw a cop in my peripherals, I slowed down. The cop saw me, came out of his little corner, because they like to take little breaks there for a few hours, and I'm slowing down, but he speeds up. He speeds up right behind me. And I'm like, I feel it in my spirit. I'm about to get stopped. So I'm calm, I'm cool. I stopped because the red light is on. We're both stopped. We both stopped. The red light turns green. The second that I put my foot on the gas, whoop whoop, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
That feeling is in the
It's like, oh. So I pull over to the right. He stops me. He parks right behind me, and he comes out of his car, and he walks up. This is what gets me really mad. Is there lines when they approach you? He came up to me and was like, "Is there a fire?" And I was just like, I was in my head, I was like, that's what you get paid to do? Really? So I'm like, no, officer, there's no fire. He was like, if you went any faster, you could have turned someone into soup. I was like, please, Jesus, please don't. I was like, wow. No, I'm sorry, officer. I was just trying to go home, that's all. Okay, well, listen. I didn't get a ticket. He let me off, which was a shocker. But he let me off, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus," because I but we're not gonna talk about that. So that was my experience with
this was funny. My experience. So I'm in the car with my friend. We were driving. We're driving on this place called Helden. It's by Wayne.
Yeah.
So we driving, and I can smell cops from a mile away, right? So I'm driving, going this way. He's parked this way somewhere. Like you said, he's chilling. So I pass, and then he starts following me, right? So I see him, right? And mind you, he has his lights off, like his. Not his sign, like his car lights is off.
Yeah.
Right, but I can see him, and he's following me, right? So I get nervous. I pull over to the side of the street, and I park. He drives past me. Right, okay, cool. He disappears somewhere. I get back on the road, I'm driving.
Wow.
Now it's a red light, and I look back in my mirror. He's somehow behind me. Oh, got you. Oh, yeah, right? I'm like, okay, cool, watch this. So, red light, green light comes on. I'm going, I see Dunkin' Donuts. I quickly go in there, and I park, and I get out. Because I park that car, I get out. You can't stop me, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the law.
Yeah.
Right? So, so I get out, walking towards Dunkin' Donuts. He pulls in. Get back in the car now, get it back. Just
Get back in your car?
Yeah, he told me to get back in my car, like yelling and everything like that. And I kid you, like 3 police cars or 4, maybe 4, pulls in, right? Comes in, and they're all just talking. And then I was like, officer, why did you stop me? He was like, oh, I stopped you because you didn't have on your seatbelt. Mind you, it's like 9 something going to 10 in the morning. And what gets me tight is this. First of all, my car is tinted.
Wow.
And even my car was never intended. It's nighttime. You cannot see that. I don't have seatbelt on. Where you was parking, right?
Wow.
So I was like, officer, I didn't have my seatbelt on. Like, how can you see? And then the officer was like, watch how you talk to my partner, boy.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, it's like officers,
okay,
you
so
know.
this is clear as day.
He took it back there.
Yeah, boy, you know. So they asked me for my insurance and everything. You know, I give them my insurance. You know, he comes back and gives me a ticket for no insurance, which I'm currently fighting right now. Right? It's, yeah.
He just wanted to give you something.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is.
Give me something.
It's a business.
And they were laughing too. Like they were like, you know, they went back, you know, their cars talking, giggling for like 10 minutes.
We got another one.
Yeah, basically. They came back and just gave me, you know, a ticket for no insurance. Mind you, I gave you my insurance.
But his initial...
Man, this initial reason was
You didn't have a
no
seatbelt.
seatbelt. So I asked somebody else, what's the ticket for the seatbelt? They just laughed and walked away, man.
I just don't understand, bro.
So I said,
Yeah, I mean, like I think hating cops in general is a strong opinion.
listen, I mean, 90% of them.
Yeah, you can say it like that.
99 for me.
99. That's an extreme. Who y'all gonna call when your cat's in the tree?
I don't have cats.
I don't have the cat.
I don't do animals.
I have a cat. Like, if
I
my
would never
cat's
buy a cat. So,
Okay,
and
smart.
my dog ain't finna climb on the trees.
Oh, you do dogs?
Huh?
You do dogs?
Not cats though. Like,
That's
I don't do
crazy.
animals in general. I'm sorry,
You don't like cookies?
I don't like animals. Period. I'm sorry. That's another conversation for another day.
But yeah, if I were to answer, like, cause I think our experiences are similar. Where like my previous car, the problem with it was that it was a little loud.
Give me and sound.
You can hear it from down the street. Like, everyone knew in Larry's car.
Okay. It was a little HC maybe just a little louder than the regular car.
Right.
So this one particular instance, not too far from here. I'm driving. I'm behind the cop, not in front. I'm supposed to pull him over. So I'm driving. I'm behind him. I'm not speeding, of course, because I'm behind the cop.
Yeah.
So he does this move. Like, they got moves, you know. He pretends he's turning into like the side street, and he lets me go. Then the moment I pass him,
What a liar.
he comes back.
He's a liar and a deceiver. He's a deceiver.
But you know.
I would have been turned down the street before I could follow him.
I should have followed him home. But I noticed him do that. So I'm like, oh,
watch this.
it's me and you on the street. You just pulled a move. Let me pull over. No, not Dunkin' Donuts, Chicken Shack. The home of my people. So real quick, I pull over to the Chicken Shack, but I don't have time to get out. Because he already pulls up. Shining lights in the car. Yeah, you're causing a noise disturbance. And I'm driving behind him at a regular speed. I'm not doing nothing crazy. And I pull into the, I got off with no insurance things. I'm good. But yeah, just like the fact that you would do that. Like I'm driving at a regular speed, going home. I'm not doing nothing crazy. And you go out of your way to pull me over. Like you pull a move. Just.
Now I have a similar story. So a cop was actually trying to give me, I was at Roselle Park. Right? A cop was actually trying to give me a ticket. Because that was back when I had like, an old Oldsmobile, right? It was on the park. And on the right side, in the front, I hit it with I hit it on the gate one time, so it was like a little hole in there. He was trying to give me a ticket for that, for like not fixing my car. yeah, I was like, wait, what? You're like, get that fixed. And he was mad too. The whole time he was talking, he had his hand on his gun, and I'm like, bro, you mad because I got an old car, bro? Like, you know, it's just, but like obviously he can't, like, you know.
Yeah, like what do you even write for that?
Yeah, what do you write for that? Yeah, he needs a new car. Yeah, I feel like I would approach them with open arms or with love. The reason why I said that because like we need to remember.
I thought you hated cops.
No, listen.
I'm a little confused.
But this is when politics come in, right? Because we gotta understand, like, they're human beings too, right? So they're pulling you over, right? They may think that, okay, well, he or she may have this attitude already because of what what we are portrayed as, even though it's true to some extent, right?
Okay.
So I feel like just so like you said from the beginning, so we can make a home, our child can make a home. I'm gonna be nice, like, hey, officer, what's going on? The same thing. I answer them, even if they're wrong. Try to compose myself. I guess you gotta play dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Before we just try to compose yourself and just try to just be nice with them as much as possible. It's not because me doing that doesn't mean I like you.
Yeah.
I just wanna I just wanna go.
So I just wanna go home.
I just wanna go home and not get a ticket or
So
whatever.
make it home.
That's what I feel like we should do approaching law enforcement.
I mean, I'll be two-faced. I'm not being two-faced so I can go home. Oh yes, officer, yes, I know, I'm so sorry, I did wrong, or
Don't be
whatever.
sarcastic.
No, I'm not gonna be sarcastic. But like I'll be smart about it. Like I'm not gonna be aggressive because obviously they have a gun. So I can't really do much. But I'll just play it smart, that's all.
Yeah, I think I'd say the same, but my reasoning's a little different for you guys. Well, make it home too, of course. I always want to make it home. But because I guess my view on it is like, just like we don't want to be judged like based off of a stereotype of a culture, I don't want to do the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, if a cycle of hate is being perpetuated or being spread, like someone has to break it.
Yeah.
So in that same sense, like the cop next to you might be some crazy, lyncher from down south, but you might be an upstanding dude. So it's like, I'm gonna judge it on a case-by-case basis. So like, just like every black man is not the same. We're not all between 5 foot and 6'10". Like that standard response that they kind of boxes all into. But it's like, we're all different. They're all different too. So it's like, I'm gonna treat you as a person. I'm meeting you for the first time. I'm gonna treat you. Now, based off that experience, I'll form an opinion about you as an individual, but not about all cops. Like, I refuse to let that be the narrative.
It's done already? Oh my goodness. If you like that video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you're finished with that, turn the notification bell on so you're notified every single time a new video comes out. And when you're done with all of that, be sure to share it to your family, your friends, your coworkers, the people on the street, everybody. Share it with everybody. So that's it for today. Stay filled, Overflowers.